Hey everyone, can't wait for you to meet my next guest. She is a ray of soulshine. Stay tuned to meet who I am talking about. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Allied HomeQuest Complete Connection with the Community Real Estate. I'm Mary Camuso, realtor with eXp Realty, and I'm pretty excited because today we're here with Miss Nancy Cooke. So Nancy is a dear friend of mine whom I had the blessing of calling my first grade teacher. Mm-hmm. An amazing teacher who created experiences for her students and even gifted me pictures over 20 years later from class. She recalled my peers' names and shared stories of many students whom left an impression on her. She is a one-of-a-kind person with a generous and giving heart, brilliant mind, and beautiful soul, who I believe has left an impression on far more students than she will ever realize. Thanks for being you, Miss Nancy.
Thank you. Welcome.
You are beyond appreciated and welcome. Thanks for being here today.
I'm very pleased to do this for you. How many years later?
It's been a few. Let's not date me, right?
No, or me.
So, how long have you lived in the Fredericksburg area?
Okay. I moved here when I was 5. That was 1948. And I stayed until I was 21. And I came back when I was about 31. And then I've been here ever since.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. Fredericksburg is my home.
It is home.
It is home.
So can you tell us something that you like about living here?
I think now, in the 2023, I enjoy seeing the city, enjoy my friends. I went to James Monroe, and my class of 1960 is very close, and we have gatherings together as often as we can. And we missed our 60th anniversary because of COVID, but we're going to get together. A few of us are going to get together next week.
Oh, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's so awesome. Yeah. I love that because my class, we don't get together very often, and it's kind of sad. I'm like, I want to see the people.
I know. It is good to see the people. And thinking that I probably won't see some of them again, and some of them are gone already.
Yeah.
And it's sad at this age, but it goes along with it.
Well, I have some that aren't even, just a part of life, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
We lose people, unfortunately, but we got to keep going.
Yes, we do.
So would you mind sharing with us something that most people don't know about you?
Well, there are two things that probably the people that listen to this don't know, but my friends know. I was here illegally and voted illegally in 1964. My mom took me down. We had to do the poll tax then. My mom took me to the lady, the registrar, I guess that's what you call her, and it was one of Mother's friends, so of course Nancy Hewitt could pay a poll tax and vote. Well, later on, my husband was in the military, and I told somebody that I was born in Alberta, Canada. Do you have a green card? No, I don't. Well, I had gone for my naturalization. You have to go back to Canada. So I went back to Canada. I had to get a passport to go to Canada. I had to have the passport stamped as I came back. And then I was naturalized, and I was the only one in the room. The trip to Canada wasn't so bad. I didn't have to go all the way back to Edmonton, Alberta. I went to Toronto where I had some relatives, and they were nice enough to have me at their house. So that's one thing. Another thing is I wrote a book with a cohort, another kindergarten teacher that I taught with that was into my way of teaching. And the name of the book was It's My Book. And It's My Book is a way of teaching children to read. The words would say it's an animal book. The words would go along with the animal, and they were learning something from it. The words in it, some were easy, some weren't so easy, so that the smart children could pick up on their vocabulary and the others could have practice. We always illustrated the page. Do you still have yours?
I'm not sure I do. I'm going to have to go look through my files to see if it's...
Well, one of my students turned out to be an excellent artist. Excellent. If I had, I'd show you a picture, but let me tell you, He is in Springfield, Florida, and does beautiful work. I asked him to please find his Brown Bear book, which is the first book we made in kindergarten, first grade. And he hasn't looked yet. He's so busy, but I would love to see what he did when he was in first grade. I really can't think of anything else. I'm a pretty open person, so my friends know me pretty well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Something that you do that I appreciate from time to time is you make some homemade cards.
I do.
Here's one of them, but all seasons, all shapes, all sizes, and the little cutouts. And there's just something about some mailbox love that's been handmade with love that I appreciate from you. See, handmade by Nancy, which is pretty cool. So thanks for that.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I keep in touch with a lot of people that way, and my teacher friends have needed them very much this year. Very much.
I think everybody needs them.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I still have every single one you made me. I keep them in a folder, so they don't hit the trash pile. So can you tell us something? What motivates you to do what you do? What's your why?
Well, my teaching, what motivated me was thinking up creative things for the children to do that would help them learn. Another thing that motivated me was the people that I worked with. I had the best first grade group that anybody could have imagined. One person was into the politics. One person was into instruction. I was into be the creative person that helped put the books together, and then each one of us took a page and made whatever needed to be made creatively with that page. I made a giraffe page and used it for my bulletin board that year. And giraffes have a long black tongue. We learned that. 21 inches, I think.
Oh,
Maybe
wow.
longer, but I don't really remember. And they illustrated them, and then I put them up on the board, and that was my bulletin board. And then when the bulletin board came down, we turned to that page in the book and put that illustration with it. I really enjoyed that way of learning. It was creativity. It taught them words. That motivated me thinking up things to do. We had a criteria of instruction that we had to follow, so we followed that. That's about it. I don't think people know about it. It's my book, A Child Learning by Making His Own Book. And I figured out what made me put their name on the front. When I came from Edmonton, I had a little book that was made out of a board. It was about this size. And when I used it for my weekly readers as years went on. And after I'd been making these books for quite a few years, I saw that book, and because it had my name on it, it made it very special for me. And I thought that would make it special for my students.
Yeah, definitely. Very cool. So what inspired you to be a teacher in the first place?
I think it was in my bones and in my heart. I was adopted. Maybe people don't know that. By a college professor and his wife at University of Alberta in Edmonton, Alberta. And years later, I heard that my grandmother was a teacher. So maybe that's some of it. I've always enjoyed children. The younger children, I knew that it would be a younger grade that I would teach. It wouldn't be high school or middle school. So kindergarten and first grade were my loves, and the children were sweet, most of them. I had a friend who thought they were all cute, and I said, they're not all cute.
There's a few bad apples in every bunch.
Always, every year. But that's fine. I learned how to control them, and they were good. I think my discipline was pretty good. I was I was called by some of the people that were in my room, oh, she's hard, she's awful. But I never thought, maybe on the ones that were misbehaving, but I never thought I was mean. I hope people don't remember me as being mean.
I don't ever remember you as being mean. I remember your classroom as being fun and creative and educational.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Maybe a little, there could be strict moments, but, there's time and place for that, right?
Mhm.
You know, we all
Yes.
need to be kept in order. So,
Even at 80.
yeah.
Let's see, what else? I just enjoyed it. And when I babysat, I enjoyed the children. 50 cents an hour. Can you believe that?
Yeah. Tell that to the kids these days.
Yeah, but it's dollars. Do you know how much it is, a dollar?
Oh, it's
How
a
many
lot.
dollars?
I had a young lady quote me like $100 for just like 4 hours, and I was just like, oh, okay.
Good mercy. I tutored, and I didn't charge what the normal rate was. I charged $25 because I knew the people couldn't afford to have a tutor if they had to pay too much. And I enjoyed tutoring because that was one-on-one, and nobody was misbehaving behind my back.
Yeah.
There
You
were small
tutored for a
groups.
long time
I
too, didn't you?
did. I did tutor for a long time. I did, and I really enjoyed it.
Very cool. How long were you with Spotsylvania County Schools?
Well, I was with them for 28 years. I taught at Spotswood Elementary 1 year, and then they moved me to Battlefield Elementary. And I wasn't told it was an open school, and the kindergarten at Spotswood was an open kindergarten. So I had to learn a lot of new skills after being away for 7 years. Then I taught a year, my very first year of teaching in Spring Lake, North Carolina, and that was a good experience because I had a very, very good cohort lead me into how they did it there. And then I taught in a Quonset hut at Clark Air Base in the Philippines for a year, and that was an interesting experience. Um, it it was so different. I mean, the curriculum was pretty much the same, but just being in the Philippines and in a Quonset hut, that you knew a certain time of day you put the fan on because no air conditioning.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you turned the fan on to keep it cool.
I never knew that. How cool is that? This is a different experience.
Yes, it was, and I enjoyed it. It was on the base, so it was with other teachers. Some of them were there because of, I can't think of the name of it, teaching overseas, and that was the one that you usually got first, and then you got to go to Europe. But
Well, that's cool. So, would you maybe mind telling us what it means to you to be a teacher?
well, number one, I like children. Number two, I know they're not all cute, so I enjoyed the ones that were a handful, to get them more structured and able to focus on their learning. And just to see the growth of the children after I had taught them for a year was really, really amazing. The books that they made were a good example of how they had grown from the first book to the last book. They art wise, they were more free, and of course, the art teacher approved of that. And I just think, since I enjoyed children babysitting, and as I said, it might be in my makeup, I just loved it, and I loved the creativity part of it. So that kind of helped the other teachers be creative. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
For your time when you were in teaching, can you share with us maybe something that most people didn't know behind the scenes?
All the people that didn't come to conferences and didn't get the newspaper or magazines or books, they didn't read to their children. The most important thing is to read to your children from the time they are in utero. You can even read to them then, but then always have a book. The child can sit on your lap. It's a good bonding mechanism, if you call it mechanism. Good thing to do. Um, they learn vocabulary. They learn how to tell a story from beginning to end. I know the first story that my son memorized was Curious George Goes to the Hospital. I had, back then you had reel to reel tapes, none of this fancy stuff, and it didn't record. So I was so sad about that, because she turned the pages and told the story as it happened. And that is a wonderful way to enhance reading and vocabulary.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So let's talk more about you and a little less about teaching. Will you share a little bit about yourself, maybe some of your personal philosophies?
Oh boy, this is a good one. um, I think the bottom line is that everybody has good things about them. I have many friends, and I love them. I just love my friends, and I don't look for something to bother me with them. And I think that I learned that through teaching at Battlefield because it was open and you had a good camaraderie with the other teachers. Another one of my philosophies is to be happy, to try not to get down in the dumps, to be jovial. I love puns. Sometimes my friends don't get them, but I said, "Did you get it? Did you get? Oh yeah, I got it." Not slapstick. I like the ones where you have to use the word in maybe two ways, and we learned that in first grade a little bit, a little bit. Um, what else? I think that's about it. Oh, and I love to decorate my Christmas tree. Every season, I decorate the tree. And when I was teaching, and several years after that, many years, I had parties for my teachers. And it was fun because they all got together and they enjoyed themselves away from school.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
You want to share a little bit about your story with us?
Well, I told you a little bit. I was born in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada
Yeah.
in 1948. And back then, I think I cost probably $1 or $10. I don't have paperwork on that. My parents, my adoptive parents, I call them my parents, saw the name Nancy on my crib. So they had to add that to my name. I was Nancy Frances Kathleen Hewitson. And then when I took on my married name, Cooke, I went when I was naturalized. Asked, is there anything else you would like to do? May I change my name to Nancy Hewitson Cook because it's too much to write down. So that's a little bit. And then my parents came here on the train. I think that's why I like the woo when I hear it. I was 5. I remember I locked myself in the bathroom because I guess bathrooms are interesting to all little children. And
Especially on a train.
yeah,
They're kind of fun in a
on a
train.
train. I remember sleeping up in the berth. I think I was on the, I'd say, second floor, the highest off the ground. And it was, we landed in Lansing, Michigan first, where my grandparents lived. And then came from Lansing to Fredericksburg. And the first thing my mother said, "Oh, isn't this a quaint city?" It was the Fredericksburg train station that it is now. And my mother was very, very involved in historic Fredericksburg. She was one of the ones that started it. Then I went to Maury School for first grade through third. And then we went to Lafayette Elementary, which is now the library. Oh, Maury is now apartments. And I wondered what they were going to do with the gym, but I haven't been in to see. Uh, um, Going to Maury. My class went to Lafayette for fourth grade, and then we marched ourselves, books in hand, up to uh, Maury again. And we left Maury at eighth grade, and we went to JM. So it started eighth grade through 12th. There I enjoyed, I wasn't a sports woman, young girl. And I leaned toward the Maury Echo, which was the yearbook. And back then, the Freelance Star ran a little column or half a column about about a senior. So I enjoyed writing those, and that was fun because I got to know my cohorts a little bit better. Then I went from there to Mary Washington College. Here's a good one. They weren't going to let me in. My father was a professor, so that of economics there, so he had a little way in. And the words were, well, we'll give her a try. And I made it. A lot of work, but I made it. And when I went across the stage, Mary Washington, you were at George Washington Hall, I think it was called. Anyway, and when I had my diploma, I raised my hand. The professors were on the stage, and I raised my hand to show Dr. Whidden, who had who had given me a try. And then from there, I got married and went to several bases and ended up in the Philippines. And that's where I taught my second year in a Quonset hut. We came back here in 1973. In 74, I started teaching. My children were old enough that I thought that it would be okay to go back. And my younger young lady did not like it. she was not happy, but she did well, and both of my children went to James Monroe too. So, and my granddaughter Raven, she went to James Monroe.
Very cool.
In the family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
3 generations.
3 generations, and while I've been here, I've met a lot of my high school people, and not many college people because I went as a day student. So I still have some friends that went as day students with me, and I've made many new friends and have enjoyed being around people. I think that's one of my happy things. I call it electricity, that when I really like somebody, I seem to have some electricity that comes towards me that makes me very happy.
Oh, that's cool.
Love my people.
That's awesome. I love you.
Oh, thank you. All these years later.
Yeah.
What year was it?
I don't know, maybe 90. We're not supposed to talk about it, remember?
Oh.
So, do you know what your favorite quote is?
Okay. I have several. The first one is, do unto others as you would like yourself. I don't know the words. Treat people like you'd like to be treated. I think that I have led my life that way pretty much. Not taking on negative things, and trying my best to love everybody for who they are.
Yeah.
And when I was teaching, I had the little quote, I'm not believing in it. When things would happen, I would say, I'm not believing in it. So at my retirement party, my granddaughter held up the plaque that says, I'm not believing in it. The other one is recent, I guess about the last year I taught, which was 2002. I would say, if it makes sense, they're not going to do it. And I've used that for a lot of things. I guess my sense, I would have to say. It works. Try it. Try it, Mary.
Yeah, I will. Very cool. Thanks for sharing.
No, you're welcome.
Yeah. So, do you have any goals for this next year? Maybe just 1 or 2 goals, personal goals for yourself.
My main goal is to stay spunky and healthy, because I keep up with that, and be able to still do things, not like I did when I was teaching, but to keep my friends and have them over every once in a while, and kind of renew the friendship. I am making cards, as Mary showed you, and I have a new friend that isn't really a new friend. She was a librarian at Battlefield, and I loved her, but I did not have a really close relationship with her. Now she comes with me once a month, and we make cards, and I can learn a lot from her. And that's another thing when you're teaching. You learn from others. It's important. Excuse me for mentioning teaching, but that was my life.
No, please do not say excuse me for that. Very cool. I'm glad that you have a new buddy to make cards with. Yeah. It's always nice to have that companionship, right?
And I have a new friend that comes once a week.
Very cool.
Makes them with me.
Nice. Yeah. Very cool. I'm going to have to come make some cards sometime.
When you can find time. You've got 2 young children.
Yeah.
That's
touche.
Right. I remember. And I have a friend that has 3 children, and she's still teaching. I don't know how she does it.
Wow.
Anyway, she loves
I
it.
admire all teachers. I think that you all give so much of yourselves to your students, and it shows. And I really appreciate all the angels that we call our teachers out there. So thank you, teachers. Thank
In
you.
first grade, way back.
Yeah.
I still keep in touch with some of my kindergarten students. Facebook. Why do you belong to Facebook? I can't believe it. These are my older friends, my age. I said, because I find my students and I can keep in touch with them. And usually, if I don't find one, I'll find another. So, Facebook is, for me, that's what it is.
It's been nice to be able to, uncover, maybe lost relationships that are still there. So that's really cool. Awesome.
I enjoy it.
Is there anything else that you want to share with us, maybe?
I think the illegal part is a big story. They wouldn't let me join my husband in the Philippines. And then, of course, teaching is a big part of my life and still is. I still think up things to do and pass them on to my friends. I was sending the mini page to a friend because I used that when I was teaching too. And it enhanced whatever I had taught, or it's something new. So I think that's about it.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I think we could go on all day here, but the best thing to do is end it here, perhaps. And I would appreciate it if you all would show your love and appreciation for this remarkable woman, teacher, mother, daughter, sister, friend, by leaving a comment below. I thank you so much for sitting down and being interviewed by me today.
I enjoyed every minute of it.
Oh, I enjoy every minute with you. So thanks again for watching, everyone. I'm Mary Camuso, your friend and realtor here in the Fredericksburg area, and I'm here with Miss Nancy Cooke, the best first grade teacher and friend of Gal could ask for. So thank you. Aw, thanks again. Bye for now, friends.
Toodaloo.